Hi, I'm attorney Doug Jones.
And I'm attorney Cynthia Orlachek Jones.
Thanks for joining in today. Today we're going to take just a couple of minutes and talk about planning for a declining parent. And one specific issue we want to talk about today is what we call serious loneliness, because we're beginning to see this more and more, and it's worse in now, the last 2 or 3 months in times of COVID.
And that's right. And it's having a really big impact on a lot of our seniors. I've recently visited with a friend of mine who's celebrated many more birthdays than me. I'm not going to say she's elderly. I would never say that. But her adult children have encouraged her to stay away from everybody. And she's a very, very social person. So when I spoke with her on the phone yesterday, she asked me to stop by, and I said, okay, if that's okay with you, I will. So I did stop by and visited with her for about 30 minutes, and I had on my mask and I had on gloves, and we sat outside. So we were socially distanced. But she said, I am just so lonely. She's used to having people coming in and out of her house all day, just about every day. So it's really difficult for her. And, that reinforces some of the things that we've been seeing and reading about loneliness.
I think it was last summer we did a YouTube video where we talked about, we had seen an article from the UK, and the theme of the article was loneliness, the persistent loneliness in seniors. And the article said something like a lot of seniors would go a whole week without seeing anyone, particularly in cases maybe where their kids lived remotely or worked out of state, or maybe they were just busy. A lot of times the kids live in the same town, but they got their own family, they got jobs, they're just busy. They don't have time to stop by and see mom every day. And it is it's tough. And in the age of COVID, the last 3 months, since when did all this mess start? About March the 13th, 11th, 12th, 13th, somewhere in there. Since that point in time, people are just afraid. Everyone. I mean, even family is afraid. The kids, if they're out in public every day, they're thinking, well, what if I was exposed to something during the day? I don't want to stop by mom, my 80-year-old frail mom that, got a compromised immune system, and, expose her with this. So, the easiest thing is just to stay, keep your distance. So it's worse in a situation like your friend that you mentioned. She's a very social person. She loves to be around people. And when it, goes this length of time, it's difficult, and we can't quantify this, at least we can't. We're not medical folks, but it seems like it has an effect on, medically has.
It does. It does. From the articles that I've read and videos that I've watched, it has an effect on anyone that is socially isolated for a long period of time. You can be younger. It can cause health problems. If you have Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia, it may accelerate that process because you don't get the stimulation that you otherwise would.
As a matter of fact, we've even talked to people recently that said, their parent had been isolated, maybe in a facility or something. And now, a few months later, they just have lost the ability to communicate like they could before.
Right. Yeah, it does. It really has a big impact. So if you've created a plan for your family and you're stopping by to visit your loved one, maybe one Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the mornings, and then on Saturday, maybe they have a limited function, and you've created a plan.
And we're members of the Life Care Planning Law Firms Association, and one of the tools that we use to help refer to this is this chart. And so maybe like the lady we're talking about, she's living at home, and we see a lot of them maybe just a little bit further down the road, home with needing some assistance, and the assistance might be the family checking in, or non-medical caregivers helping,
or medication dispensers, or there's any number of things at this point of your care plan that can help a loved one maintain their independence. But still, there's nothing like a human touch. whether it's a Zoom call, FaceTime, a GrandPad. Seeing someone, talking to them makes a huge difference.
We have information on our website. I wanted to mention that you may want to refer to. It's at arkelderlaw.com. That's ARK elderlaw.com, that you can refer to and get some information. We got different videos on there. But it is important, and this is primarily the topic we wanted to address today. And there's several topics regarding declining parents, so we'll be back. And if you haven't, by the way, click the notification bell by the subscribe button so you can be notified of when we are back and doing another video on this topic. But it's important that if your loved one is at home alone, socially isolated, and maybe suffering maybe more than you know, what are some things that can be done to help? And I think one perfect example is like you did with your buddy yesterday. You just stopped by for a visit and you were careful. You had your mask on. You all sat out in the yard, kept your distance. Mm-hmm. But you said that this made such a big difference for her.
Made a huge difference. Huge difference. And you can do that for someone that you love. And if you have other family members, then schedule a time for them to do that so that your loved one can have more interaction, because it's very important in these times that they don't be socially isolated.
And even if they are in a facility, now it's a lot more difficult if they are in a facility like an assisted living facility or nursing home. I was just talking to a lady earlier. If you have a loved one in a nursing home, it's a situation, and of course the nursing homes didn't bring it on. It's the way it is right now, that they are in your room, you're out in the yard, a lawn area, the nursing home, and you're looking through each other through this pane of glass, like a divide here that neither one can cross the divide. And you may have provided a phone for them to use, or the staff at the nursing home may have provided a phone. But that's about as close as you can get. And it is sad, but right now I think that is critically important, to do everything that we can do to protect our seniors, to be there every way we can possibly be there, even if it is this, flipping open your lap book and doing a Zoom call or something, or your little phone and you got a FaceTime or something where you can see each other. That's a lot better than just, a phone call. A phone's better than nothing, but to be able to have some way that you can see them, even if it's on a screen, helps a lot. And if it's a situation where they're at home, you got to be careful, because you don't want to do anything. As we've learned, we could be carriers of this stuff and not even know it. We don't want to do something to expose a frail senior to a virus that may be potentially fatal to them. But by the same token, we want to try to help and be there when we can.
So if you're going to go visit someone that's home that has limited function or no limitations in function, but you have to stay distanced, take your own lawn chair, take your mask, take your gloves, take all the protective gear that you need. But please spend time with them, because that's what's really the most important thing.
So this is about the non-legal of the legal topics that we discuss. Today was more practical, but I think the reason we wanted to talk about this today, it's critically important, and I think it doesn't get talked about enough. We see our seniors just struggling under this crushing load that coronavirus has imposed upon all of us, and I think they're taking a double hit, because they were lonely anyway, and now it's even worse. So if it's your parent, or just maybe even a neighbor or a friend, do what you can to be there for them. If we can help provide information or assistance, go to our website at arkelderlaw.com. There's a place on there if you would like to set a time for a free initial consultation. There's a place that's the set an appointment button. Just click on that and it takes you to our scheduling page. We'd love to talk. And there's a lot of other information on there, videos and general information that can that hopefully will be of assistance to you as you are working to help your declining parent get through this troublesome time. So if you're doing this, if you're serving for a caregiver for a parent, hang in there, keep up the good work. And if you are a remote caregiver, maybe your parent lives 2 or 3 states away, there's information on there as well for remote caregivers. It can be even more difficult for a remote caregiver where you don't have the privilege of just stopping by and visiting.
Right.
All you can do is just get on the phone or get on the Zoom call. But you do what you can. So,
or you come up and you visit maybe once a month.
Yeah.
But however it is, enjoy each moment with your elderly parent. And thank you for being a caregiver for your loved one.
And thank you for joining us today. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification bell by the subscribe button so you can be notified when we do these again. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.